Hello, welcome back. Today we will learn about contra entries. Again, children are generally confused about the contra entries. So, when it comes to IGCSE, there are two types of contra entries. One with reference to the cash book and another one with reference to the control accounts. Let's understand one after the another. Which entry to pass when depends on the question. So, if you are solving a cash book related questions. So like question 1, A, B, C is all about cash book and they have asked you simply explain contra entry, then it is with reference to the cash book. But if you are solving a sum related to the control accounts and you have a question 5, say A, B, C related to control accounts only, and they have asked you explain contra entries without mentioning any further, then it is with reference to the control accounts. Let's understand this further today. First, we'll take cash book contra entries. Cash book contra entries are found on both the sides of the cash book. First one is cash deposited into the business bank account is mentioned on the cash book debit side bank column and cash book credit side cash column. Here the cash is going into the bank, so that's why it is on the debit side of the bank column, and cash is going out from the system, and that's why it is on the credit side of the cash column. Second contra entry is cash withdrawn from bank for office used. Most important word. Cash withdrawn from bank for office use is also a contra entry and is mentioned on the cash book debit side, that is a cash column, and cash book credit side, that is a bank column. Most of the children write cash withdrawn from the bank and they forget to use word for office use, or they end up writing for personal use. Both are no, you must write cash withdrawn from bank for office use. This is very important word. Now these two entries makes cash book contra entries. In cash book, these entries are marked with C. The above representation can be used for giving theory answer related to the cash book question. Now since you all have understood cash book contra entries, I'll move to the control account contra entries. What is control account contra entries? Control account contra entries are also known as inter-ledger transfer. Very nice word because it actually means inter-ledger transfers. When a trader have a common customer or a buyer, this contra entry is passed. It is passed to find the net receivable from or net payable to the common party. So basically there are at times a business will have a common customer and a common supplier. And at the end of the financial period or a periodic interval, you want to find out whether you have to recover from them or pay them, and that's why the contra entries or the interledger transfer comes into the picture. For control accounts, the contra entry is purchase ledger control account debit, that is trade payable debit, and sales ledger control account credit, that is a trade receivable credit. Transfer is of lowest amount, the lowest amount between these two. Whichever balance is lower, you will pick up that amount for this passing this journal entry between the receivable and the payable. This entry never changes. Why it doesn't change? I will explain you by way of an example. For example, Alice have to recover an amount of $1280 and pay $1000 to James. So in the books of Alice, there is a sales ledger. Alice has James, which is a trade receivable account, and James trade payable account as a customer and a supplier. So as a customer, Alice had sold goods worth 3000 on 1st, recovered money on 23rd 3000, and on 8th of December she made further sale of 1280. Until 31st December she did not recover it. Let's see the purchase ledger. So technically this amount is now still receivable from James. Same if you see the purchase ledger. 2nd December, Alice purchased goods from James worth 2000 and paid on 24th December 2000. 16th December, she made another purchase of 1000, but till 31st, she did not pay. Now, Alice wants to know whether how much you have to recover and pay from. Now, it's very easy for you all to find out now, right? Because 1280 here and 1000 here. So, you know that 280 is a net receivable from James. But how to pass the journal entry and put it in the ledger is difficult for many children. It is not so difficult, believe me. It's simple. It is on the debit side this balance is showing. It means here you need to pass an entry first of all on the credit side of the sales ledger. And in the purchase ledger there is a credit balance, and that's why on the debit side you have to pass this entry. technically, now whichever side is lower, this side is lower. Why? Because this account will automatically get closed when you pass the entry on the debit side. And if you see, what is the entry that we are passing for the contra entry? We are passing James trade payable account debit, that is James trade payable account debit, and here in the ledger account of trade payable, you will write sales ledger control account debit or James trade receivable account debit with 1000, and on the credit of the sales ledger James trade receivable account, you will write James trade payable account or purchase ledger control account by 1000. Now if you notice, purchase ledger account gets closed with 3000 both the sides, no more balance is left in the purchase ledger. But in the sales ledger, there is still a balance of 280, which shows that Alice has to recover 280 from James, and that's how you pass your contra entries. That's all, children. I would like to close my series. I hope you like the revision and it would be useful to you during the exams. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the chat box, and you can send an email to me. Do not forget to subscribe my channel and like it and share it so someone needs it. Thank you. Bye-bye.